can tell you've trained hard these last 3 years.
Scene means more to me every time I see it. I'm gonna start tearing up. Music starts. Oh, I have to work out again after this. I'm getting pumped. Hey guys, it is Rick from Roll With The Punches, and as you can see, I have come to talk Dragon Ball today. Specifically, I want to talk about 5 lessons that I've learned from Dragon Ball and have used in my life. 5 mental health lessons that have really helped me out. And I want to explain why Dragon Ball is important to me. So, being an autistic, anime is great because it's so over-exaggerated. I can process it a little more easily than I can real life because everything is so over the top. It helps me also kind of understand my own emotions and thought processes a little better, and it helps me relate them to other people as well. It's kind of this connecting thing. So anime is super important to me. Dragon Ball was my first anime, and it's one that I absolutely love. And there's 5 takeaways that I want to talk about today from Dragon Ball that I want to share. So the first one is kind of the most obvious one. Dragon Ball is a fighting anime, and in the anime, the heroes will be at the brink, right? They will be down to the last man or at the brink of defeat, and then they will come back and overcome. And that's a very simple storyline, but it's such an inspiring one. And it has been for me since I watched it as a kid until now.
So we meet at last. We have been expecting you, Kakarot. We were beginning to think you wouldn't show.
Obviously, you know, they're fictional characters, but still just seeing Goku, Gohan, the different characters go through all of this struggle and be at the very bottom and then still having the will to come back and overcome. That's something that I try to apply to my own life as well. I've definitely had low points in my life, and I can think back and think, well, you know, I didn't have to go through what Goku went through. I'm not that bad off. So if he can keep moving forward, I can keep moving forward too. And I've been able to apply that. I've been able to have points of depression or anxiety or moments of doubt or just bad days, and just I can watch Dragon Ball, or I can just kind of think back to that and inspire myself and be like, you know, I can look back at the bad times that I've had and the times that I've overcome them. And I know that I can do that again and again and again. And, you know, it's predictable in Dragon Ball, but that's what I need in my life sometimes, is that predictability and that certainty that I can overcome. So thank you, Dragon Ball, for that one. That's number 1. Number 2, Goku is my favorite character, but that's sort of what I wish I was. I think I am more of a Gohan, especially a young Gohan. So when Gohan is starting out in his training, he doesn't believe in himself. He's so afraid of everything. And as someone who has grown up with anxiety, I definitely relate to that a lot.
You promised you wouldn't use your I-beams thing.
And what if I did? You can never trust your enemy, especially in a fight.
Yeah? Well, but you're not the enemy.
Gohan has Piccolo to help him through that and to help him get stronger. And so for me, it was kind of about finding my Piccolo voice inside my own head to push me when I was feeling scared or when I felt that I couldn't do it. It's great to have someone who can push you through that, but even just finding that own voice in your head to push you through it. So recently I had a bit of a breathing scare. I was out running, and we're not sure if it was an asthma attack or bronchial spasm, but I couldn't breathe. So that's something that has been a fear of mine and is a big part of my panic attacks, is feeling like I can't breathe. So once I had that, and I had that a couple times, then I started really thinking about my breathing and worrying about it and having panic attacks about whether or not I could breathe. And it's sometimes tough to know which is an attack like that, like actually not breathing, and which is the panic, because it feels very similar. But I was pretty sure that I was over the attack, and I was just having these thoughts, and I could breathe fine, but my body just wouldn't believe it. So I kind of let that Piccolo voice come into my head and challenge me. And I was like, okay, I have this inhaler here. So if something happens, I'll be okay. But I want to push myself and test myself and see. So I'm going to do a 10-minute round on the heavy bag. And that's going to let me know whether I'm okay breathing or not. And so I did that. I did the 10 minutes. I was absolutely fine. I could breathe just fine. And like that gave me a lot more assurance and confidence that I was okay. And it helped my anxiety tremendously. So I kind of used that Piccolo voice to my Gohan side in order to overcome that challenge. So that's another lesson from Dragon Ball that pushes me forward. For number 3, Piccolo used to be a bad guy in the show, Vegeta as well. And I kind of, for a long time, saw my anxiety as my enemy, much like Vegeta early on in the show. And it was something that I fought against. It was something that I wanted to defeat. I wanted to overcome it. I wanted to not feel that anxiety at all. I wanted to crush it, right? And that was the wrong way to approach it, I think. So I grew, just like Vegeta kind of grew in the show, and it became less of an enemy and more of a rival. So the anxiety for me now is something that I welcome. It's a part of me, and it's something that helps me grow stronger. So if I do have a panic attack, now it's not, I don't want to feel this panic attack. I don't run away from it. I don't fight it and try to push it down. I welcome it as a challenge. I welcome it as, okay, this is an opportunity for me to deal with this. This is something I need to feel right now, and I'm going to be stronger on the other side of this. So just trying to look in my life and find things that I shouldn't be fighting against, but maybe I should be fighting alongside and growing with.
Remember this, there's a great power inside you just waiting to be unlocked. But it's up to you to bring it out, use it, believe in your ability. If you want to survive, you'll need to learn how to summon your powers whenever you need them.
And on that note, for number 4, don't always fight your fights alone. So I was ashamed of a lot of my feelings, especially when it came to anxiety early on. So I kind of kept it all inside and tried to deal with it myself. But like in the show, it's not all just one-on-one fights. Sometimes they have to group up against something. And just knowing that you have people there to support you can help a lot. Like they can't always fight the fight for you or necessarily make things better. But just knowing that they're there, having someone to talk to was a big, big boon in my life, being able to share that. But having people that I can be open with and that can support me and that I can support them, just not feeling alone, being able to lean on someone when I'm really struggling in a particular day and then have them lean on me on another day. Just finding that group of Z fighters that you can go through life with. Important. Okay, for the last one here, I'm going to watch a little clip of Dragon Ball. This is Goku fighting in a tournament. He's struggling, and he makes this change in order to overcome. So I'm going to explain why this is so important to me after we watch it. But yeah, let's check it out.
Before we continue, I need to shed some of these clothes. Suit yourself. If you're going to lose, you might as well be comfortable. I can tell you've trained hard these last 3 years.
Scene means more to me every time I see it. I'm going to start tearing up.
Well,
You won't
He's taking that
understand
thing
why
off.
until a second. But
Now this should be interesting.
taking off the clothes.
Hey! Goku, do you mind if I take a look at your shirt? What? Sure.
I love that he's so
What is this?
curious.
Goku, this thing weighs
Starting
a
to
ton.
understand
Have you
a
been
little
wearing
more
it for
about
the
Goku.
entire tournament? Yep, Kami told me to. It was part of my training.
Come on, Tien. You guys have to keep fighting. Here, give me that.
Hey, what is this?
Ugh, it's really heavy. This is unlike any shirt I've ever seen before.
Each of those boots weigh 20 kilos. My feet
Don't know
have
how you
never
can
felt
walk
so
in a lone
sore.
fight.
I don't believe this guy. He'll do anything to get stronger.
I'd say I'm holding about 100 kilos.
Are you kidding? 100 kilos?
No, lighter than a feather. It's great.
Now he's moving. Music starts. Oh, I'm gonna have to work out again after this. I'm getting pumped.
Goku just keeps amazing me.
So yeah, Goku taking off the weighted clothes, just such a great scene. It's meant so much to me in my life. If you're watching that, like, it might inspire you or it might like hype you up or something, but to me, it allowed me to realize and allowed me to express to other people that like sometimes in life you're wearing weighted clothing, and the things that were easy on another day, or the things that you see other people doing that are easy for them or look easy for them, might be hard for you. And that's okay. It's not something that you should get down on yourself about or beat yourself up on, of like, why can't I do this thing that's easy? Because you've got that weighted clothing on. And it's just, it takes more effort sometimes. For me, shopping is one that I kind of equate with it, where like I didn't know growing up, but like being an autistic, like shopping has never been very fun for me. Like there's bright lights in a lot of places. Sometimes there's overwhelming smells if you're going through like perfume aisles or something. There's lots of people around. There's lots of noises. And it's just always been a very overwhelming environment for me. And yet I see all these people who are just fine. And I'm like screaming inside my head, like dreading every time I have to do this. And I would think to myself, like, why can't I do this? Like, this is an easy thing that everyone does all the time. And I would get down on myself and I would feel bad that I wasn't able to do this easy thing. But then I looked at it in terms of this idea of weighted clothing, to where this is an activity for me where I'm wearing these weights. I'm weighed down. And yet I'm still able to then go and do it. And even though it was a struggle for me, because I have that weight, it's something that I should feel accomplished about, not something I should feel ashamed at, that it was hard for me to do. I did it anyway, even though it was difficult. It's not about, like, should this be difficult for me? It's, is this difficult for me? Like, that's the big thing. Like I said, it could be certain activities for you. It could be certain situations, or it could just change day by day. If you're struggling with some depression, like, that weight is just on you all the time. And just getting through the day, just getting up and out of bed in the morning, like, you're carrying all this weight. You shouldn't feel bad that you didn't accomplish anything that day, or you didn't accomplish the things that you wanted to accomplish. You should try to reframe it of like, man, I'm wearing all this weight and I was still able to get out of bed, or I was still able to move forward and go to work or go shopping or do this thing that on another day might have been easy, or I think should be easy, but it wasn't. And just being kind to yourself and trying to feel good that you did something that was a challenge has been big for me. And that scene, it literally changed my life, where like I was able to reframe things in that idea of wearing weighted clothing. And it's something I'm able to express to other people as well, of like, you know, this activity that we're doing, you're having a lot of fun and it's easy for you and maybe it's relaxing for you. But for me, I'm doing this in Goku's weighted clothing. And so like it takes more out of me in order to do this. Even though I might be enjoying it or it might be worthwhile doing, we're just wearing different weights doing this. So that's the biggest one for me. And I am so thankful for Dragon Ball for helping me to understand that. And it's been huge in my life. So I want to know how anime or video games or something unexpected has helped you in your life. Let me know down in the comments below. I'm definitely interested in seeing that. I might make more of these videos in the future. Berserk has been a huge one for me in dealing with my mental health and helping me get over some bouts of depression and things. Video games as well. But I wanted to start with Dragon Ball because although not every lesson and not every like person in Dragon Ball is a role model, there are some things that I was able to take away and apply to my life, which has helped. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you're subscribing for more mental health videos, for fitness videos, boxing, workouts, and just different ways to get out there, live your life, and learn how to roll with the punches. Thanks, guys. See you next time.